I wanted to talk about this program that just fascinates me for making music. It's called Reason. I've used a lot of sound programs. I've been making music for about 15, somewhere between 18 and 15 years. Um, and I've probably made between 100 and 150 songs. Uh, with other sound programs, Acid Pro mainly. That's the one I use the longest. But I've also used SoundForge, Sonar, MTV Music Generator, Fruity Loops. But this program supersedes them all. It allows the user complete freedom in sound ability. Like in Acid Pro or in MTV Music Generator, you use loops that come with the program, and then there's like a few effects you can change them, and you can like change the notes that they are, but that's about it. In this program, if you had full knowledge of it, like if like in the Matrix, the movie, how Neo uploads Kung Fu and then he fully knows Kung Fu, or like when Trinity uploads the helicopter and she knows how to fly it, she fully knows, they fully understand it, like that upload that doesn't exist yet. If you did that with this program, you'd be able to make a song using the devices that come with this program, that comes out of your head. You'd be able to imagine it and adjust all this stuff to have it be that. You could make an entire song out of one sound because of all the effects and all the stuff that you can do to sounds. Like Hear what I do. Although it has stuff like drum computers and devices to make beats and other sounds, it has a lot of synthesizers. Like these are all the devices you can add, and these are the main synthesizers you can add, and then the subclass down to here, the subclass things you can add to the synthesizer to add effect to the effect that it already adds. Come on, damn it. What the fuck? Okay. Piece of shit. This computer, anyway. And this is the back. The wires, the way you wire it is just so that these devices are plugged into certain areas on the main synth, so that effects come in. Why is this thing lagging? God damn it! It's not the program; it's the computer. It's at a certain time, and these are the effects here. And then this bar plays, and it plays it in real time. And I use a keyboard. There's certain things that come with the program. These devices, you can also, if you have a real keyboard or if you have a real synthesizer like in three-dimensional, like I don't bother with that stuff because they cost more money and they take up space. So I just use the stuff in the computer. It's just as good, in my opinion. And I assigned the keys on my keyboard to these keys. Like E does. So I can play the keys with my keyboard. So I have done that and recorded it in real time into here. And these are the keys. The cool thing about this is the same keyboard. So these are the notes too. It goes over the notes, and if it's too long, I can shorten the note, or I can move the value of it, or add more notes. I can not even bother with that keyboard and add more notes in here. But I didn't. That's I can do that too. But this is recorded real-time keyboard. And this is what this sounds like. I have 3 sections I wanted to show and explain. This one I've done the explaining, so You notice how there's these rounded sounds that the effect down here changing. So even though the notes are the same, they have that rounded weird sound. And then these are anything with a green box around it. So that's the least cool of the three. I was doing them in order. This is the second coolest one, I think. This one, I did more with it. There's more effects. This is it right here. This is the matrix pattern sequencer down here, which means this is another keyboard right here. So this is the keyboard on the side right here. So these are the keys. It's not real time. You click and you put these in here, and you can tie the notes together if you want, or leave them solid and adjust their volumes and stuff. It has a curve effect bender to it. So it in itself, this is the speed of it, and so I have it on the slowest because I have it on 120 BPM already. It's a really cool device. So I use this. This is where it ends, and then this is the real key, what I was showing you earlier, the real keyboard recording. And it has more effects in it, more automations, so it's going to be, cooler sounding. I always like it when, the same notes, it's the same keyboard, but there's all these effects added to it, so it's like really different and never the same in an awesome way. Obviously, my theme here is like a sad, dreary, like empty sounding, barren world, um, with like an awesome, like machine alienated sound effect added to it. This is the last one. And of course, this one I saved, for last. It has the most effect automations to it. And it's basic notes, it's basic real keyboard time notes, but it's the most awesome sounding just because it has the most synthesized added effects with these sub devices that I added in. Each green boxed area is how the sound is affected as time goes by. Hey, Greg.
Hey. Caught you in the middle of your...
You notice how the noise never sounds the same? It has those rounded, weird effects. heading out?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Now, if you'll notice, it's just basic mono notes that don't really have any coolness at all by themselves, but I ran it through an echo filter. I added certain effects at the ends of notes. That's why they had that really weird really electronic synth noise to them, like a rounded metallic machine noise that you just couldn't hear anywhere else in the universe but Earth probably. And in a rare time, only in the last 20 years has man had stuff like synthesizers. Synthesizers are a very revolutionary, like modern, really awesome thing, the effect adder to music, any other kind of music. And what Pink Floyd did, they were the ones that really caught my attention. Pink Floyd, the stuff that they did with the synthesizers in their music, like for example, when the Animals, Sheep, like track 4, how they had their voice, like 10 times in the different times in the song they had their voice, the regular man voice, slowly, like he's like holding a note, and slowly this synthesizer effect starts changing the sound of his voice, and you can't really tell. It sounds like he's half man, half machine. Stuff like that, and you don't really hear too many people, too many bands do really spacey, awesome stuff with synthesizers, but you can. There's a huge area of synth music that hasn't been covered yet by a lot of bands that use synthesizers. Most bands usually just do guitar, drums, but some bands have a keyboarder in it, and that keyboard sometimes has a synthesizer, which really, in my opinion, always adds a great effect to just a deeper, longer pit to the bottom of the sound of music. It really drops the doors on what you can do into an infinite degree. Like this one had the most complex tack board setup, which is you can cross wire the effects to each other at certain times. That's why when the notes ended, when it got quiet, when there was nothing but like echoing note, you could hear the note changing. You could hear it like rounding into like that machine sound. And that's what Pink Floyd did with a lot of their stuff. I haven't really heard anyone else do such fantastic effects as them. I think they were way ahead of their time. The synthesizer is something that it doesn't seem like a lot of music artists really understand the complexity, what can be done to music with them. And there are various other examples I could say about what Pink in songs exactly, other than that one song in Animals. I'm running out of time though. There's also in Keep Talking in the middle, what they do with the combination of the synthesizer and the guitar, the middle part of the song, Keep Talking, track 9 from the Division Bell. The middle 2 minutes and Time from Dark Side of the Moon, what they did. In the middle of the song, when he says, right after he says, and then one day you come to find, one day 10 years have got behind you, no one told you when to run, you missed the starting gun, and then that next 2 minutes, what they do, that's the same combination guitar synthesizer effect that really makes music really awesome that you just don't hear people do. And that's what I try to do. I don't play the guitar. I don't have like a band, but the keyboard synthesizer stuff is like the kind of music that I like to add. And that's what I have gone into review here with the amazingness of this program versus others, and the amazingness of synthesizers. And this is just one synthesizer that I use. This is a completely different main synthesizer. It's my second favorite one, and it adds completely different effect. It's inside of a what's called a combinator. Like if I was just a that way, if I click in here and I create another device, the subtractor. Now this is even a different synthesizer, completely different than those other two. Analog. You can make this. This is like to make like the stuff that you hear those Asians in NES music, the original Nintendo game music. It has that analog 8-bit sound to it. Um, and really, honestly, I think that techno and electronic music actually originated from video games that were made for the Americans in Japan, like when the NES. You got anyone remember when the NES hit the United States? It was big everywhere. Like everyone had one. Everyone was like into the NES games, and some of the games had really awesome music. Well, that music carried over into the white American culture and caused them to get into stuff that, like synthesizers and stuff the Asians did over in Japan, like with this kind of equipment to make like NES to make like 8-bit music, and then you can, if you, in case you don't like exactly what it does, it has these yeah, these are the main devices. There's all different synthesizers, and then there's the these are the effect devices you can add to the synthesizers, like a delay line, feedback, distortion, um, phaser, chorus, flanger, which are all completely different effects, which all I like very much. Um, so yeah, it's just really cool. This program's just incredible. It's so much fun to use if you like making music or with sound programs.